day. Just a few twists to end the week. More to come. Hi, everyone, and it is Friday. Hope you're doing well out there. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in on your Friday. If you are not sure that you're coming in, I just want to thank you anyway for considering coming into Black Spring on your Friday. And as always, I'd like to encourage everyone to help us feed and nurture the AI on this channel for better stream and even dissemination, if that's possible out here in the social media streets, as they say. Also, I want to take an opportunity to thank the loyal patrons, the subscribers, and the friends on Periscope, as well as over on Twitch. So if you're joining us over on Twitch, thank you so much, as well as on Periscope. But of course, before we get into that, I'm just going to give a word of thanks to our fantastic patrons and sponsors, and we'll be right back. All right, guys. I apologize. I'm not sure how technical or if it was power outage. We have all of those things in the bag around here, but I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and thank you for your patience. So I'm just going to do a brief word of thanks to the subscribers and the followers. I don't like to use that word, but on Twitch and on Periscope. So if you haven't considered Twitch, you might want to do that. Just for the sake of streaming. But so I just need to reset here because I'm thrown off just a little bit there. But yes, so I'm just going to do a word of thanks for the patrons and I will be right back. Thanks so much for joining. All right, guys. Thanks so much for standing by once again. If you could just give me a one in the stream if you can hear me. We did go down for a second there, but look, just don't sweat it. I'm not. So we're just gonna move on here. Just once again, I have about three scoops and we're gonna get out. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for your patience. I know it gets to be annoying and it's getting to be cumbersome. The things that we do to survive. It's hard to be a content creator, if I might say that, in these times. It's like a revolution. It's a revolution, and yeah. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. So we're going to get into this Friday scoop. Hi, Hazel Brown. Thank you so much for coming in. And thanks, Steve Willis, over on Twitch. I really appreciate you guys for going over there on Twitch. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. I appreciate the support. Okay, so let me give you the damage. Let me give you the flavors. All right, so you might have seen, I don't spill all the tea in the description box because I think it's probably a part of their algorithms or the systems. They know what they're looking for, so I try to put hints in there for you. So without any more on that, so we have what I entitled cruise control. That is, of course, the senator getting a little heat, which I guess that's what he was looking for. So a little heat for Senator Cruz, and that's going to come from our New York Post on at least having a little bit of a escape, if you will, or escapade. But I'll get to that, and the next we'll get to something a bit on the HR 484, and there's one specific section we're going to look at on that, and it's we're going to follow that up even with an actual story out of the American military news. It's a bill that's going to ban the former president from Arlington National Cemetery, burial block, federal funds, you name it, monuments, endowments, da 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 da. We'll get into a little bit of specifics on that. And the other tag I gave was green for CPAC. Snubbed. I don't know. We'll take a closer look at that and see how much green they can handle anywhere near CPAC. So once again, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and for hanging around during technical difficulties. So I really appreciate it. I'm not sure, but I appreciate that feedback, Steve Willis. I need to spend a little bit more time over there myself. I think possibly I'll do a stream directly from Twitch coming up soon, but I'll give you guys a heads up on that. And I really appreciate it. So thank you guys once again. I appreciate you for coming in. So I've kind of dropped out of the camera, out of the view for a while because, I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm not sure. So I'm trying not to rock the boat, if you will. So I really appreciate it. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Once again, if you could give me a 1 if you can still hear over here I'm sorry to do these technical checks, but if you can give me a 1 over here, if you can still hear the sound here on YouTube and even on Periscope, I don't mind that either. So I really appreciate it. So we're going to do some screen sharing here in just a second. And that's the other thing, that since I've got some other features that I'm working with, I noticed that there's lag. There's more of a significant lag to me. And it's not because I'm a super timing narc, but things are not quite timed, just quite right. And we do our best. Okay, so before we get into it, we'll go with the scoop. We'll get our scoop ready. And thank you guys so much. Aisha, Jay, thank you so much for coming in. And R. Jones is here. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it on this Friday. So we're going to get going here in just a second. And our first line of business, we're going to go into looks like the HR 484. And I'll tell you what that's about. And I'll tell you we're not going to take too much of the bun and lettuce. We're going to go right to the center of the HR 484 and what the buzz about. And we'll also have a little bit of reinforcement from the American Military News on that bill. All right, guys, I appreciate it. All right. Well, I thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment with technical difficulties and all. And I'm going to say hello to everybody in the stream once again as we have some new people coming in. I really appreciate it. Aisha J. And Awesome Alice is here. Hello, Awesome Alice, R. Jones, Hazel Brown, Steve Willis, Hazel Brown again, sorry, and Old School Wolf Media. Thank you guys so much for coming in. And that goes double for the people over on Twitch and even on Periscope. So if you guys are having issues on Periscope, it's good for you guys to give me that follow-up. I appreciate it. All right, so we'll go with number 1. All right, Paralysis, you're on my trail right now. He says Black Spring, was that a recording of me playing the flute? Yes, it was. That is I'm that's a little bit of a throwback, if I could say that. Yeah, that's a little bit of a throwback, if you will. But yeah, it's you guys can, anytime I play something, you guys can guess the composer or whatever. That's the quiz of the day. I guess another thing I'll start doing when I have a test, you guys can guess the style, whatever you want. And you can guess who the performer is. And it'll guess whether it's me or not me. All right, so Paralysis is taking a stab at it. He says it sounded like Ravel or Debussy. Well, you know why? Those are good guesses. And I think I have a good sense of why you would go with those two, but we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later on here. I'll reveal the composer at the end of that one. So thank you for engaging on that. Appreciate it. All right, guys. So let's go on to the first part of the business here. And I did tell you, I do kind of describe things. I do kind of describe things in a, we're talking to Burger here. We're going to go straight to the meat of this HR 484, what's being reported on it. And so I just thought maybe I'll just bring it to you myself. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming in. So what I could do, let's just give you the segue. I'll give you the title of the actual bill. The bill itself is entitled the H.R. 484, No Glory for Hate Act. Okay. And of course, that was apparently it was sponsored on January 25th of 2021. And of course, that's going to come out of your oversight committees. Da 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 da. But we're going to look at just a couple of things. You'll see some imagery here. So hopefully you guys will be able to see this, what I'm about to share. And let me know if you can see this. What a wonky time today. Not that one. Hang on just a second. So no, I'm not having technical difficulties right now. Believe it or not. Not right now. I'm trying to play it safe right now because it's very touchy around here. Okay, so we're going to I'm going to put on the screen so you can actually see this for yourself, and I'll even drop the link. If you want to dig around for it yourselves, you can do that. I always encourage you guys to do that here. All right, so what I believe you can see, and I'm going to give you some scale on this one, is the HR 484. And in that, you can just see a little bit of the players involved in this one. All right, so this is just, I'm not even giving you the whole page of this one. You just get to see the House reps that are involved in this one. All right, so this is HR 484 to prohibit the use of federal funds for commemoration of certain former presidents and for other purposes. All right, so you got your House of Representatives here, date of draft, Jan 25th, 2021. And I'm not sure. I do recognize some of these names, which Miss Lee of California. I recognize that name. And I'm sure these others, I'm sure they're all seasoned politicians involved in this bill, but that is the name of the bill, and I'll drop that link for you later. But what I'm on about is, of course, the bill gets a little, wordy. You've got, of course, many sections. I do believe that there's 5 sections. I got into it because it didn't have like tons of pages. So this is, to me, looks like a 1 page. And so, of course, you've got your sections. This is section 1, 2, 3, 4. But what I'm on about is section 5. And this is also what's being printed in the media right about now, mainstream media and whatever the other stream media. Section 5 is a prohibition of burial of certain former presidents. So I'm going to actually read this for you, so brace yourself. Section 7722A of Title 10 United States Code is amended by adding at the end the following. Now, 3, in carrying out paragraphs 1 and 2, you'll get that later, the Secretary of Defense shall not approve a determination of eligibility for interment or annulment in Arlington National Cemetery made by the Secretary of the Army that permits the interment or annulment in Arlington National Cemetery of any former president that has been twice the I word by the House of Representatives on or before the date of enactment of this act, or has been convicted of a state or federal crime relating to actions taken in an official capacity as the President of the United States. So I can see a lot of problems with this because of because of the verdict or the actual outcome of this. I'm not sure how much teeth this is going to have. Not sure. So yeah, you guys can just zoom in as you like. And I'm going to drop the link for the actual bill myself so that you guys can dig into this thing for yourselves. And as always, I appreciate you guys so much for coming in. I mean, there's other things in there, but that made the headlines, and it made Black Spring News Media as well. So but there are sections there. Of course, there are more specifics, and there's more, verbiage that you could get into. It spells out what they're, I don't know. You guys can look at this for yourselves. All right, so I'm going to paste that for you. So enjoy that. Yeah, it's looking a little bitter. It looks a little, it's like it's petulant. Like I'm not sure. I'm just, I don't know. It's rough. Okay, so we have a comment or two here. I'm gonna go with Rachel Van Zyl, who says, "Wow, sounds like someone is being spiteful." And Anarchy TV says, "We as the people need to stop accepting and complying with their authority. We, the people, are the authority. We need to start acting like we are the authority." Anarchy. I hear you. Okay, and Awesome Alice says, "So that will affect the Holy O also." You got to be in the club. To me, it's just like a club. Like you can't do this in the club. You can't do that. You can't sit with us. You can't enjoy, the gold caddy ride. You can't. So it's just more. It just seems like the intensity of this is not going away. I mean, you should have seen all the photo ops that were created just around that inauguration event. Like they just created so much. It's just the elitism is just, it's dense, it's thick. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't watch my magic show. You can't have any of my goldfish. You can't, you can't, you can't. So that's where we are, right? Okay. And I'm going back a little bit. Awesome analysis. This picture reminds me of the Bahamas. And is it Steve Willis? And okay. All right, guys. So yeah, so you have that. I mean, if you guys really want to see the entire bill, it's a one pager. I think one pagers are a little bit more user friendly, at least on this channel. They are. I mean, I've dug into some other ones, but I don't really want to dig into that kind of excrement, if you will. I just don't. So I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. And it is Friday, and I want to get you guys in and out. And we'll keep going. Thanks so much for tuning in. So the next thing we're going to go to the actual story in which Senator Ted Cruz, of course, you guys know he's from Texas, and the situation there is it's very dark. It's very grim. No pun intended there, but and cold, dark and cold. So according to the New York Post, there's going to we have a little bit of all the inside the glitzy Ritz Carlton where Ted Cruz stayed in Cancun. So, I know everybody needs a vacation every now and then. I mean, I'm more than due for a vacation, but I don't know. It's there again, to me, that elite thread just keeps coming back. So I'm going to share that screen with you guys. So yeah, I'm just thinking, like, what you see what I mean? That's just why people just are absolutely turned off by politics. I can see why. And they're turned off by politicians, and they're turned off. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what his home situation was. I don't know any of those details or circumstances, but it does appear to be almost as, very apropos to my title here, the scoops, the Friday scoop. You had Pelosi, around Easter last year. Gosh, it's hard to believe that was almost a year ago. Doing late night shows and snacking on, frozen snacks. And meanwhile, people's refrigerators and freezers were being used to incubate and refrigerate their last 4 ounces of juice, or their loaf of bread, to keep their loaf of bread from going stale, or they were actually, in fact, the refrigerator that I saw was probably, there may have even been power shut off by that time because people had started losing their jobs. And so here again, I said all that to say that this is this kind of elite kings and queens kind of a bit. We can struggle, and we can pick up our cross and do what we need to do and make it out here. most of us are pretty much survivors. We can survive. We can work things out. But for them, there's always something else. They always have a choice that's, that appears to be, and it's an insensitive option. I mean, I think he could have gone anywhere, but here again, I'm going to keep going. Thank you guys so much. So before I get into that, up with some comments here. Anarchy says, I'm sick and tired of these bullies bullying me and everyone else. It's time to put these bullies in their place. Yes. Awesome Alice says, survival of the fittest. Yes. So I'm just saying, I'm going to show you guys, you can't beat the Ritz-Carlton anywhere. I mean, or the Fairmont. You can't beat these places. But, the people in Texas, how does that look? How would that look? And of course, other people are going to see you because of who you are. And I don't know, call me crazy, but I just think it's a little bit insensitive. Just a little bit. I mean, he's kind of getting double whammy because even his poodle is being cited as being left unattended. So that, let's just hear what the New York Post has to say about it. So, according to this, hopefully you guys can see this and you can hear me as well, that a look inside the glitzy Ritz-Carlton where Ted Cruz stayed in Cancun. All right, so I'm going to play. It looks like he's on video right here, so I'm going to give you some of that. If you can handle it. Can you guys handle it? All right, so we're going to play this and then we'll do the video first, let you see. For those of you that didn't catch us yesterday, that you didn't see any of the videos or the footage, even the aerial view of Texas, some of the Tuesday, Wednesday footage. So here we go. Hopefully this one's going to be good.
For 2 days, our house was dark. We had no heat. Actually, the fireplace behind me, we were all huddled around the fireplace because it was the only heat in the house. And after a couple of days, after the girls being really cold, it being in the teens and the 20s outside, our girls said, look, school's been canceled for the week. Can we take a trip and go somewhere warm? And Heidi and I, parents, we said, okay, sure. And so last night I flew down with them to the beach. And then I flew back this afternoon. I had initially planned to stay through the weekend and to work remotely there. But as I was heading down there, I started to have second thoughts almost immediately, because the crisis here in Texas, you need to be here on the ground. And as much as you can do by phone and Zoom, it's not the same as being here. And so I returned this afternoon, and I'm here working to make sure to do everything we can to get the power turned on, but also fundamentally to ask the questions, why did this happen? Why was the Texas grid, which is regulated at the state level, it's operated at the state level, it's not a federal function, it's a state function, but why was the grid not sufficiently prepared so that 4 million Texans lost heat and power? We need to answer that, and we need to make sure it never happens again in the state of Texas.
All right, guys, so we're going to keep going here. So now I'll take you into the actual article, their perspective on the situation. So give me just 1 second here. I have become disoriented. Slightly, just a little bit. Okay. All right, so according to all right, sorry, that's not a part of the script here. Okay. All right, so according to this, when Texas Senator Ted Cruz ditched his freezing state for the warm climes of Mexico, he picked glitzy Ritz-Carlton in Cancun. Okay, and I'll get into this later. He picked the glitzy Ritz-Carlton in Cancun, the only Forbes 5-star resort in the Gateway City, where rooms start at $309, according to the Post. Now, if you guys want to go on to travel, whatever, see how much it is, you can fact check that too. The Hacienda Style Resort, one of the 3 Carltons in Mexico, features 363 guest rooms and one of the largest beachfronts in Cancun hotel zone, with 17,000 square feet of sand featuring private cabanas, Forbes reports. It is from this enviable vantage point that resort guests can experience the many charms of this tropical destination, all while enjoying the anticipatory service, luxury accommodations, and carefully curated amenities that have come to make the Ritz-Carlton so distinctive. The hotel boasts on its website. All right, so let me see where you guys are and make sure everything is still going. All right, we're going to keep going. All right, so the swanky hotel's rooms offer floor to ceiling windows, bed wrapped in a 400 count Egyptian sheets, and private balconies overlooking the azure waters of the Caribbean, along with barrier aisle, according to the MAG. The Ritz-Carlton also touts itself as the gastronomic paradise that offers 9 dining options. I don't see that word used very much around here. All right, quote, at the Ritz-Carlton Cancun, food is only the first part of the culinary experience. Quote, the hotel website says, quote, whether you enjoy fine dining at Fantino, a master Mexican cuisine at an interactive class, or savor some of the more than 100 tequilas at D Lounge, each restaurant pairs vibrant flavors with memorable Cancun moments, end quote. The popular Frommer's travel guide described the dining at the resort as, quote, a theatrical experience, end quote. Quote, it begins in the opulent anteroom with superb cocktails and a selection of wines and continues into candlelit dining room all the way through the caramel coconut souffle and other divine desserts, end quote. Its review says. It says in a review. So you guys can, check it out yourself. I don't know. Maybe you guys have been to this particular hotel. I don't know. I don't know the swank. I haven't been to this hotel. So it's definitely not the Motel 6. It's not, yeah. Okay. So, quote, the menu has a classic feel with steak that seems juicier than you can get anywhere else, as well as expertly prepared lobster and lamb. A lineup which changes frequently is enlivened by contemporary flavors and combinations such as spicy black and pepper, snapper, grouper, and other fish, roast duck with chipotle sweet potatoes, puree, and tequila sauce, and tuna loin with coconut foam, end quote, it adds. And if the Republican lawmaker wished to revitalize his, quote, mind, body, and soul, end quote, as the hotel describes the experience, he could have ventured to its spa, quote, where custom crafted treatments inspired by ancient Mayan rituals transport hotel guests to another world, end quote. So, quote, using locally sourced ingredients and tapping into the centuries old healing traditions of Mexico's native cultures, the spa is a true oasis of wellness and beauty, end quote, it says. Man, I feel like I'm on a travel brochure right now. Quote, indulge in an authentic Mayan warm stone massage, relax with an organic facial, or reconnect with Mother Nature with a volcanic red clay body wrap designed to reflect its tranquil tropical environs. The spa's serene relaxation gardens and secluded terraces invite travelers to Cancun to reflect and unwind. Amid public outrage, Cruz left the luxurious oasis Thursday, a couple of days earlier than planned, and returned to Texas, where he faced the music from outraged citizens who shouted at him to resign. Oh, I didn't know that. The seemingly chastened lawmaker apologized for his faux pas, saying the ill-timed jaunt was, quote, obviously a mistake, and in hindsight, I wouldn't have done it, end quote. All right, so that was a bit of a tongue twister. It's like all the words in the dictionary for vacation or hospitality were just thrown at me right now. But yeah. What do you guys think about this? I don't mean to make light of it, but it just, I don't know. Let's see. Hi, TDOA. Thanks so much for coming in. Yeah, so I would imagine, I'm not sure. I'd love to find that footage. If you guys have any footage of Texas and their response to this, I guess that would make it even juicier. But yeah, but as you can see, I think, they were trying to establish here this article, it just sounds like a travel brochure, but I think they were just trying to establish the luxury of the elite and what they have at their disposal, as opposed to the peasants and us taxpayers, what they can do, what their emergency evacuation plan looks like. Roll on down to the. It's so funny. I have been to Mexico, and I do have a picture like on some beach that looks similar to this, but it's probably not the same one. But I'm saying that looks very, very enticing. It really does. But of course, he's going to apologize. I mean, how many apologies have we had just from politicians in the last, I don't know, 12 and 13 months? What do you guys think? Can you guys give me a number? How many apologies? Or what's your favorite apology? Who's your favorite apologist? Let's do that. I appreciate it so much for you guys coming in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn on your Friday. Oh yeah, but yeah, I think that's more than insensitive on Cruz's part. I don't know if there's any way for him to. I don't know if there's any way for him to make any kind of amends on a situation like that. In fact, I haven't. What are we hearing from the administration about the conditions of Texas? I mean, are we bowing down, or what are we doing? Are we still doing the Green New Deal? Are we doing what's going on? Is this sustainable? I mean, yeah. I'm going to read some comments here. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to give another bit of a infomercial, and I'll be right back. Thanks so much. All right, guys, I'm going to be honest. It looks like I got something just in. It looks like there is a mocktail Bill of Rights coming out of America's FrontlineDoctors.com. So I'm going to share that with you. We're going to break just for a second with the lineup, because that was our number 2 in our scoop for today. But we're going to break over and see what that's about. So that's kind of coming straight up. So I'm going to share that with you guys. I really appreciate it. And also, I'd like to remind you guys to keep in mind the CFFS. CFFS is it's one of my friends or associates, and those links are available on the community tab. So if you're interested in reading the No Mask or adding your own stories or experiences to the nomaskforkids.com, that's available for you over on the community tab. So that's CFFS, that's Citizens for Free Speech. And also the releases, Patrick Wood's articles are not only available here, but they're going to be released on the Epoch Times. So if you subscribe to Epoch Times, Patrick's articles are going to be over there. If you guys are anybody that's been around for a little bit, Patrick was on our show several months ago, just talking about, just the bare bones of free speech and what it is, and where we were going at the time, full speed ahead, but where we are right now, even Patrick and that organization is getting the constraints of the censorship as well. So check it out on the community tab, and I'll keep you guys up to date as I get releases and whatnot. I'll still post those, but you'll find those same posts because I think he got picked up by Epoch Times and two other publishers, because he's actually a really fantastic writer. So congrats to him. I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but I got the update from him, so I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. So let's go on over to the America's Frontline Doctors, and let's see what this Bill of Rights is about. Okay, how are you guys doing? Hi, Rachel. All right, are you guys with me on this one? I think I gave you full screen on this. Yes, I did. Okay. All right, so we have here is the Mocktail Bill of Rights. It's also the V. On here we say mocktails. It's the vaccine. I'm going to say it one more time. The vaccine bill of rights. Right? So this is, of course, memorializing resolution urging states to immediately enact a vaccine bill of rights. Okay, so a memorializing resolution for the state of insert state to protect its citizens against unconstitutional and medically irresponsible CV-19 mocktail mandates. All right, they give you the whereas. The founders designated that a Bill of Rights was necessary to guard individual liberty against encroachments from state and federal actors, public and private. And whereas the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution explicitly directs states not to, quote, deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protections of the laws. And whereas no CV mocktail is FDA approved, but some are authorized under a temporary emergency use authorization as experimental investigational agents only. Whereas emergency use products are specifically prohibited by federal law 21 USC da 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 da. You guys can read that for yourselves, but this is getting into some real specifics here. And I touched on this a couple of months ago. The America's Frontline Doctors actually met in Atlanta not too long ago. And I think I did a clip of what's Bevelyn Beatty and Ed May. They were there. And I think Angela Stanton King were there. And at that time, they were pretty tight-lipped about, they talked about it in their, of course, they discussed it in their own way, but you're getting, it looks like they've taken this a step further. They're serious about what they're trying to do. So you guys might want to grab this, if nothing else. So we'll see what, if it holds up, if our court system will hold up. I think that this might be what's necessary. So here I'm scooting down here quite a bit. So they're given tons of premise, I think, for this Bill of Rights here. And yeah, I'm going to drop that right now. This is pretty wordy, but I think, that's the only way you can fight fire with the Constitution, right? That's all we have. I mean, what are we going to do? We're running out. We're eroding so quickly here. I don't know. I hope it works out, but I'm giving it to you right now. So you guys might want to jump on this, and I don't know. And that's why, and I'm not paid to advocate for anybody, but I'm saying these are the kinds of things that not only I would advise you guys to share things like this and support some of these groups. I mean, they're not mainstream groups. They're alternative. Those doctors, I think, were pretty much shunned. I think you guys remember that scene in which, for those of you that were able to catch it, there were a strand of doctors, and it was including Stella from out of Texas. Those people that were outside of the Capitol, I think those are that's that same group. And I think they've had to go underground, but it's because I think they're not quite getting, information is being suppressed and the word's not getting out. So I'm offering it to you as I get it. And hopefully you guys can, take a look at these things and at least go over to their website. I don't know what your quackery radar is. I don't know any of that. I'm just saying that I think these people are actually quoting. They've actually put a law based, or at least something on the premise of law together, in which which to say, hey, these are violations here, and here is the, here's the argument to back it up. And this is what we can argue it like this based on what's on the books. So I would just encourage everybody, because I'm going to take a look at it myself. I know, medical liberty is just as important as any other liberty, right? I mean, we don't have, I just don't know if we're going to go to a point in which there's nothing off limits. I mean, your privacy, you everything is eroding. Your privacy is going, your medical freedom is going, your decisions, your body, your choice, until now. So I don't know what's going to happen with this, but I just got it. So I just thought I would share it really quickly. I don't have a fancy presentation prepared for it, but I just wanted to put it out there. So yeah, and right to your point, anarchy. He says we don't need more laws. We have the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. We just need to enforce. That's been my point for on many occasions, that why do we need to keep creating things when things are already, if you just follow what's already there. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with governments and tyranny, they start to use, they're kind of groomed to use the law as if it was written for them and written for their own manipulation. And that is something that we've seen 1930s Germany. We've seen the results of the law and the people that support those regimes, how they write the laws and how they use those laws to protect themselves. And we are pretty ripe right now. We have a lot of people, oh yeah, people are waking up, but in what way? I'm not sure if wake up is I don't know. I think that's even obsolete at this point. It's not just a wake up. I think it has to be a little bit more than that. We don't need any more. I'm not even sure. Like I said, I'm not sure. We have too many people, and I'm not sure how they're going to. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's to go forward. And the definition says we don't need laws or lawmakers. Let's see. And Ronnie says, yes, pay attention. The quackery radar is blaring profusely. And TDOA says, all we need are the Bill of Rights with some tweaks. That's what I'm saying. It's just way too much. I don't know. It's just a big pot. It's whatever. I don't know. We're so far away from, I think, anything that was, people are interpreting, well, this was what was intended. And who knows what was intended at this point, because they've ratified and they've done so many things and amended, and they've done so many things to what's on the books that even that, I think, gets, it's really a mess. It's a mess. And R. Jones says, I think our representatives need to wake up to the fact that most of us have already woken up. Let me read Anarchy's. Anarchy said, snap, we have to go back to natural and common law, which is the supreme law of the land, not this admiralty law, which is maritime law that they are forcing on us. Okay, yeah, so there you go. But see, this is, like I said, I haven't had a chance to dig into this because, like I said, I just got it. And, but I think this is probably, I think what the premise, it might be, I'm thinking that it's probably based on what's already there or what's implied, or I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer. I can't do the legalese, but I do think that they are trying to, they are trying to use what's out there to fight off the wolves. I mean, my gosh, you guys see how these passports, these mocktail passports, are popping up all over the world. I do believe that Israel got one of the first ones, and so it's bunkers. All right, so according to this, I'm gonna read this last part of this, and then you guys can have at it. All right, so at one section of this in the bottom here, I skipped down quite a bit. So it says, whereas that the major principles of this mocktail Bill of Rights will include a minimum of 4 of the following 6 provisions. 1, no persons will be mandated, coerced, forced, or pressured to take an experimental or, quote, investigational, end quote, medication. Number 2, no physician or nurse shall be asked by an employer to promote a CV mocktail. Number 3, all persons reserve the right at all times to determine what is their own best medical interest, without threat to their livelihood or freedom of movement. And next, all persons must be given access to independent information to help them determine what is in their own best medical interest, including the risk of death based upon age, condition, from contracting the CV-19 naturally. This must include information from sources that are independent of a conflict of interest. For example, pharmaceutical companies have an inherent conflict of interest, as do government or quasi-government institutions. Such information can be included but cannot be the sole source of information. Next, the frail elderly are additionally entitled to a knowledge independent advocate with medical training to help them determine their own medical interest. And private businesses operating within the jurisdiction have no legal authority to require or mandate or coerce medication or experimental medication for any persons. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to applaud these, this coalition of doctors, because we haven't seen this kind of movement from the medical community, because, like looking around, where's the integrity of the rest of the medical community? It's not a kingdom. It's just one person. I figured it was something at this scale initially that they needed a huge team rather than one person on the front. One person. So I'm thinking these people are coming at this from medical knowledge, from the medical community, and that's knowledge that I don't have. So, you guys, I don't know, maybe even you could bring it to your own doctor and see, either see them, watch them sweat, or either they'll tell you, they might have said, oh, I want to get into politics. You'll find out. It's you find out the integrity of your own personal doctors, I think, at this point. Because some of them will comment on them. Some of them aren't saying anything. And when you bring it directly to them, I think you're going to really find out whether they're going to support you or not, or are they going to consider incriminating themselves. So, and this time I have to go, because I've played for you guys the series of that anthology out of the HHPH out of New York, that New York based project. So, at this point, there's a lot out there, but I don't know what's to protect. What kind of protections are you going to have at this point? What kind of integrity does the community, the medical community, have? The thing about it is we don't even have one narrative. We don't even have a consistent narrative. We don't. But find out how consistent your healthcare professional is. See about it. I appreciate it. So I think that's the end of that one. I did drop that link in the stream. And so just really quickly, if we're not familiar with these guys, you can get over here. They have an entire website. They even have petitions and that kind of a bit. But I'm going to say these are the kinds of action projects the other people are doing. Other people are doing these action projects, and they're rallying behind what they want. They're supporting groups, whether they do it in waves or whether they do it underground. They are advocating for what they want to see done. Even if they don't get it, you can see the efforts. And I guess it's nice to see the medical community. I don't know how many doctors are by name, if they're even providing their names in here. Well, they do have the founder in here, Simone Gold. She's actually the founder. So yeah, I think she's suffered quite a bit. This is her bio on the bottom here. And she's AFLDS founder Simone Gold, MD, JD, FBA, FABEM, quote, the doctor who went viral, end quote, is a board certified emergency physician and author of the best-selling book, quote, I Do Not Consent. So you guys can do what you need to do. You can see her credentials here, and figure out whether you want to support this or figure out how you're gonna how are we gonna be involved, or how are we gonna do nothing? That's it. I guess it's the choices are really we're kind of down to very, very little at this point. So you can see that. And, it's more about the mission of the America's Frontline Doctors.com, what they're doing. They have podcasts, they've got quite a few things going on. They've even got alerts here. So I haven't really explored this site myself. Something here, this is an action alert. Healing our small businesses. It is safe to resume indoor. See, this is, you have to go on to see what they're doing. Open the schools now, expanding use of ivermectin. So that's another, see, these are things that are not, you're not going to get this on mainstream. You're not. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Okay. So I'm going to read a few comments here. I'm going to stop sharing that. I appreciate you guys for tolerating the technical difficulties from earlier. I appreciate it. And okay. I'm not sure how far I'm going to go back here. So let's go. Rachel Van Zyl says, we found out their integrity with the mask. Ooh, that burns, Rachel. Ronnie Mann says the Hippocratic oath nowadays is a hypocritical oath. Thank you, Ronnie Mann. And Austin Mal says, like when I finished my EKG specialist degree, we took an oath. It is not about medicine, but the welfare of your patients and do no harm. R. Jones says, you are right. Doctors are all over the board on most issues. And Anarchy says this Vax Bill of Rights does no good without enforcement. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's just like everything else. We can have, if we don't have anything behind, if there's nothing behind these these things, what good are they? If we have nothing, then what do we have to support it? I mean, what you can't, I don't know. The ruling class is just the whole ruling class. And to me, they are running everything. They're running the roost. They're running so many institutions. I just don't, it looks so dark, guys. Like I said, I don't mean to be Debbie Downer, but it just looks so dark. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to move us on to the third scoop. All right, so I gave you the tag, you go green for the CPAC. Well, according to the Gateway Pundit, the rep Marjorie Taylor Greene, I refer to her as MTG around here, is not invited to CPAC and will crash the conference appearance street arena. So it looks like she might not be at CPAC, but she has found a way in. All right. Looks like you can't keep Miss Greene down. However you feel about her, you're not going to keep her down. So whether they can or not, it's they're keeping the theater interesting, I guess, what they're trying to do. I don't know. These people are like floppers everywhere. Who knows what they stand for? Okay, so here's the third story, my third trick for the day. All right, and I actually, we'll guess call it the fourth trick because I just got that little tidbit there. But here we go. Coming straight out of the Gateway Pundit, Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, not invited to CPAC, will crash Orlando with appearance down the street from the conference. This is by Jim Hoft. All right. Okay, so here's Marjorie Greene, pictured here. According to this, several freshman Republican lawmakers were invited to speak at the annual conference, but Taylor Greene was left off the invitation list. Man, they're really having fun with Photoshop these days. Okay. Instead, Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene will be speaking down the street from CPAC. You better reserve your spot before the event is filled up. Okay, according to this comes from the GP, that's the Gateway Pundit. We're honored to have at MT Greene join us for the Republicans for the National Renewal CPAC open bar reception this year. So she's going to You're going to meet her at the bar, all right? Okay. I'm not advocating for me literally her at the bar. Okay. It'll take place at the Rosen Plaza Hotel, 2-minute walk. It's a 2 minutes walk from CPAC on February 27th, 2021 at 5 p.m. Don't miss it. So, because there's RSVP here, let them know if you're going to be there. All right. So, the National File reported that the Pro-T firebrand Rep. MTG of Georgia is set to crash the 2021 Conservative Political Action Conference despite not being invited by the event organizers. Sources close to the American Conservative Union, which hosts CPAC, the lead right-of-center political conference in the United States, confirmed to the National File that Rep. Green had been left off the invited speaker list for the conference. Other lead members of the Republican freshman class in the House of Representatives were given speaking slots at the prestigious conference, including Rep. Burgess Owens, the Republican of Utah, Rep. Lauren Boebert, a Republican of Colorado, Rep. Byron Donalds, Republican of Florida, Rep. Michelle Fischbach, Republican of Minnesota. Get it together. Got many on my mind. Rep. Yvette Harrell, a Republican of New Mexico, and Rep. Madison Cawthorn, a Republican of North Carolina. Surprisingly, however, Rep. Green was not included despite her immense national following. It is unclear what the rationale was for not inviting such a well-known member of the House of Representatives. The American Conservative Union did not respond to a request for comment. Okay, so there you go. So I don't know if you guys are in the Florida area. I don't know. Is anybody out here going to CPAC? Is anybody tuning in? Let me say, are you going to CPAC? Is anybody even going to tune in to CPAC? I'm just asking. Okay, so there you go. All right, so I'm gonna double back here a second here. So we have yeah, right. See, Ronnie, man, you're on, you know what I mean? Where are the my body, my choice people? You see? And I've said that a few times. And then, what I saw yesterday, hello, Chrysler Imperial H. Nice to see you here. I saw, okay, I'm losing my train of thought here. But yes, even on the video yesterday, they said that the mocktail is not about race. Are they actually going to defend that in their lyrics? That's a part of the literacy, right? You said that the mocktail is not about race in that community immunity video. So it's not about race, right? Unless it benefits, unless you can cop something, unless you can get something, right? I mean, the Holy Oath said that it wasn't about race, if he didn't win, but, he turned out to be, it's all, this place is inherently, okay, I'm going off on a tangent, but yes. So you can see what we're dealing with, with the people that are in Congress right now. I'm not impressed with them. And I don't know if you guys are, but I'm not, and I'm not going to fold up like a t-shirt and tell you, oh yeah. Well, they're not doing what they need to do regularly, because you've got Green is the thing right now, and whether you think she represents the T movement or the MAGA movement, whatever you think, she's going to be their buzz or their all occasion doll, for a while, because they're running out of steam. Every other word, still in the media is T, 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 T. I don't know. Yikes. Okay. Ronnie Man says, who tunes into CPAC? They didn't make a hip hop song animated video short about it. So it must be irrelevant. Thank you, Ronnie Man. I appreciate it. And let me drop this in here. Rachel Van Seal says they're too busy making depopulation happen. And Awesome Alice says, never heard of CPAC. So it's a conservative conference. I'm not going to fill in the political. I guess is it political action? I guess it makes sense that it is. I don't know all the acronym on this, but I would imagine, you know. So yeah, it's a political action conference, and so, and I think, I don't know if if the Dems have their own situation like that. I don't know, but I know that BLM locked arms with their PAC, and that's, unfortunately, I think that's where all their funds went. You know, just ask them. So yeah, there I go. I'm going off on a tangent here, but Austin Alice says, we have too many political get-togethers, and they get money every time. We are the campaigns for the homeless. We are the campaigns for the homeless. Money could be used better. All right. Yes, Rachel, for the clarification there. Conservative Political Action Conference. So yeah, and I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, we've done a lot of talking. We got a lot of words, but where has that gotten us? I don't know. You know, I think everybody was trying to hang at, you know, not too long ago, I think we wanted to hang our hat on some level of, you know, I don't know. It's been a spiral or domino effect. Or how much of an illusion are we invested in? How much illusion? I don't know. It's looking like that to me. So yeah. So I mean, how many lawsuits are on the docket already? How many? And how many never made it to the docket with all the issues, all the things that are going on? I think even this current regime is being sued already. So I don't know. I don't know what it means anymore. I don't know. And Austin Alice says, words mean nothing without action. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you guys, as always, for taking the time and for enduring all the things that happen around on Black Spring. I was originally on screen, but I came off screen because things were wonky yesterday, and then they got even wonkier today. So who knows? Who knows? If I'm brave, I'll come out of hiding right now. Yeah, that's not good. Very bad. All right, guys. Actually, I don't know if you guys have any comments. I'm going to just drop this link here for a few minutes, and then we're going to pack it up, fold it in, and say so long on this Friday. And then what we're going to also do is run ads, and I'll come back and we're going to close out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't had a chance, I haven't said it very many times, please hit that like button, unlike button, share button. Please make sure you're still subscribed. If nothing else, please make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. Today, I got into some things that I've backed off from, what I call provocative things. But at this point, I'm not really concerned about it. Because the thing about it, if they pull it down, I'll just do something else. I mean, it is what it is, and it's not what it's not on this channel. So I'll be right back, guys. And thanks so much for tuning in. show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, there's something for everyone. So please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back, right after this. All right, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to read a few more comments, and it looks like we have no takers today. All right, let's play it safe all the way. All right, Ronnie Mann says, brave voice in the wilderness. Thanks so much. And Rachel Van Ziel says, later, everyone, stay safe. And that's not a dig. That's not a dig at you guys. And Paralysis by Analysis says, it is what it is and it's not what it's not. I like that. I'm stealing it. All right, steal it. Steal it. Make it your own. Make it your own when you steal. Okay. All right. So, and for my final trick, I did say that I was going to reveal that is Aaron Copland, the piece that was played on the front of the stream. And I can see why anybody would lean towards Ravel or Debussy. And I think that's because of the amount of time that I think Aaron Copland spent. He spent under the tutelage of, I can't even think of her name right now. It's so bad. But it was the Fontainebleau. He spent time there. So he has quite a bit. The chops are a lot like, Frenchy flair, or the color. The color is definitely, is what I would say. But he did go to Fontainebleau. And so that's where that flair comes from. And it was the duo for Copland. The duo. And then he's written so many great things. And it's a fun piece to play. In fact, I'm going to revive that one. Because I pulled that one from way back. But, music is kind of like an old friend you want to revisit. So I'm going to revisit that one. I'm actually working on it as much as I can. Available. So I appreciate it once more. And I'm going to say thanks to everybody in the stream, because I'm seeing some people I haven't seen in a while. I hope you guys are doing well. When I don't see you, I've thought about you. So you're in my thoughts. You've been there. Okay. So Old School Wolf, thank you so much for coming in. It's nice to see you as always. And Steve Willis 925. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you guys. It looks like I've got some new friends over on Twitch. I was very excited to see that. So it looks like you guys are getting your Twitch drive up around here. I really appreciate it. Because who knows? Who knows? Hazel Brown, thank you so much for coming in. Some people I'm not quite as familiar with, but your presence is noted around here. And R. Jones is never here out of place. Thank you so much, R. Jones, for your support. Aisha J, thank you so much for coming in. It's nice to see you. Awesome Alice, thank you for coming in. Paralysis by Analysis, thank you so much for coming in and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. It's nice to see you. Hope the year is treating you well. And let's see, what else am I missing here? Rachel Van Ziel, thank you so much. If I'm not mistaken, I think I may have seen your name. I'm going to be doing shout outs for those that are actually joining us on Twitch. So yes, Rachel Van Ziel, thank you so much for following us over on Twitch. Thank you, Rachel Van Ziel. So I guess, we'll keep doing a few more Twitch drives where available. And then we're going to probably I might even do one directly from Twitch, like just randomly. And I'll post that on I'll do announcement here and then I'll go right over there. So maybe we can alternate a little bit, or just add one at least once directly a week or something over there. Okay, and who else? Am I missing somebody else here? Anarchy TV. Anarchy TV, thank you so much for all that you do, and as well as TDOA. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. The definition of anarchy. Anarchy's changed its name. Tyrant's Bane. The definition of anarchy. Thank you so much for all that you do. And even Anarchy TV, you guys are, I really appreciate you guys for your content. We have great content creators and we just have great people and great, we have warm people here. We have a range of the full spectrum of great people and great content creators here. And they're very loving people in here, I think. Very much. I don't say that very much. So who else did I miss? Ronnie Mann, of course. How could I forget Ronnie Mann? Ronnie Mann is a gold standard around here. He's a fantastic gold standard, a fantastic stripe here. We've got a lot of great stripes here. Rachel Van Ziel. And I'm probably going to be making some adjustments to the stripes. So I really, the people that are frequenting here, I really appreciate it. And yeah, so sometimes we don't have enough, and sometimes people go MIA, and I don't know what happened. But I appreciate. Yes, Boulanger, Nadia Boulanger. Yes. So I think that's where the French flair kind of comes from there. I would say, it's very colorful, and yeah, I love the way the dialogue between the two on that. And Ronnie Mann says, the Dean of American Composition. Ronnie Mann. Yes, thank you, Paralysis by Analysis. Yeah, it's like things are there, but they're not. They're a little bit further back than they used to be. Yeah, but I appreciate it. So thank you guys so much once again, and I appreciate you guys for supporting, enduring, and scooping it up on this Friday. So have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll catch you guys. I don't know, maybe I'll catch you this weekend. I have a lot of things to clean up, but we'll see what happens. See you on the next live stream in the comment section on a video, another live stream, or a test. So I'll see you guys later.